Welcome. This is episode 6 of the Altitude Promise podcast. I'm your co-host, Big Country, along with my partner, PV. We got a guest here tonight, The Native. How you doing tonight, The Native?
Going good. It's going good. Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. It's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a couple
Yeah,
episodes. What are we on? Episode 6?
episode 6. This is
Seven,
really a guest
actually.
from week 2. But let's just jump straight into things, guys. Recap some of the boring shit that happened over the weekend, over the last week. Yeah, I'll leave it to you, Pat, to do that really quick.
Yeah, I mean, boring stuff. We saw Denny Hamlin win the Cracker Barrel 400 in Nashville.
What?
Not too much. Yeah, like we said, the boring stuff, the boring shit. We're getting rid of that first. Other than that, we have another F1 race coming this weekend. This will be an international one, so one of those crazy times again. So not many people will catch it, but hopefully we'll get to see the results later.
Yeah, and it looked like it was a big win for Denny Hamlin as well, especially since he was a longtime teammate of Kyle Busch as well. So getting that win in Nashville in a place he's never won, I believe, either, was assuming pretty emotional for him. He did the rowdy celebration when he won as well, so that was cool to see. But
Did he cry?
it looked like he was shedding some tears. You gotta feel for the guy. I mean, you gotta feel for
Yeah.
all NASCAR drivers, man. A lot of people looked up to Kyle Busch and how he drove. So yeah, but got any boring shit that you want to talk about, The Native?
Did guys hear that new World Cup song Speed just dropped?
I actually have not. I did not know Speed was writing a World Cup song. That's interesting.
I
Shit's
know
a banger,
Shakira
bro.
has a song, but I haven't
Hey man,
listened to it yet.
don't put them in the same sentence, bro. Waka Waka is a fucking generational hit.
Waka Waka is what made Africa. Well, Africa was a great cup, but Waka Waka made it that much better.
Yeah, do you guys have any early predictions for how the World Cup's going to go?
Dude, I'm so excited, bro. Let me tell you. I don't know. I like England. I think England's got a good shot to make a deep run. France is always, they're young still. You're always going to have something pretty good with France. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
Brazil, I'd
I
like to see
agree.
Brazil do something. Make Neymar's
Yeah.
last World Cup run. He just got named to the 26-man roster like last week, I think. So that was pretty huge. But they're still relatively pretty young too. So if they could make a run, that'd be pretty cool to see Neymar do his thing.
Yeah. Any chance we see a repeat?
Of what, Argentina, France?
Well, Argentina mainly, but yeah.
I don't know. Angel Di Maria's not playing. He was a big part of that team. He retired 2024, so I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I don't know how.
I mean, I'm
if
not too
Julian
into
Alvarez
soccer,
is in
but
peak
I
form.
mean, when you have the greatest of all time, does that, take over at some point or no?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it did in 22, but Messi's also 4 years older now, 3.5 years older, so different game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, lots changed.
Yeah. What about US?
You guys also, you didn't talk about PSG just won the Champions League as well, 2 years in a
Boring.
row.
Yeah,
We don't
good
care.
point. That's a good point. No, that is something good to bring up for sure. PSG with another championship win, which obviously kind of further pushes the idea that maybe France makes another run with that young talent that they have.
Yeah, they beat Arsenal, pretty good team, top the Premier League, so
Yeah.
beat them in.
Arsenal was owned by Kroenke, no?
Arsenal is owned by Kroenke, yes. Don't get me wrong, I think they won the Premier League.
I think so,
I could fact check myself, but I'm pretty sure
I
they
think
did.
they did. Yeah. I've been seeing it all over my feed about how the Kroenkes added another title to their resume.
Yeah.
So good for
weird.
KSC, good for, just them in general. And then moving into just more KSC, we got the Rams trading for Myles Garrett. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Obviously a huge blockbuster trade. I think it shook the world. Obviously there's always rumors swirling around, but you never know what to believe. So this one was obviously a big one that not many people saw coming, me included. But at the same time, it is something that I feel like makes sense for both teams. You see a lot of people arguing both sides. A lot of people actually, I've seen the majority of people think that the Browns got the better end of the deal here, given that they have really good young talent in Jared Verse. He has lots of potential. He's a very, very good young player. And then you still get a lot of picks in return as well. And obviously, it sucks to lose Myles Garrett, but it also, I think, for the Browns, I think part of them was like, hey, he's committed to us all these years. It would be great to see him go get a ring. And I think, obviously, that's the place to do it. The Rams are, out of all the teams that we're seeing in the NFL now, in the most win now mode. And obviously, it all started with the Trent McDuffie trade. They went and got an elite premier corner, extended him, secured their corner number one, and now they have they have the greatest defensive player in the NFL at the moment. So now you're going to have pressure as well as coverage over this guys. And then obviously you have last year's MVP with Matthew Stafford. And so you really already have that offense behind you. You have Puka, you have Kyron Williams, you have a lot of talent. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a crazy year for the Rams. Obviously a disappointment if they don't at least make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Rams, it's also like their MO for the past, 10, 15 years is they don't give a crap about young talent as much as any other franchise. Like they think you get the best and the best will take you there and get it done. And it's been successful. They have won the ring. It's probably going to catch up to them as soon as, some people start retiring, especially like Matt Stafford. I mean, I don't really see him going past another few years just with injuries and, longevity. But I mean, the Rams are the team to beat in the NFC now. Now, will one player single-handedly transform them into a Super Bowl favorite? No, it should not. But that's what the markers are doing. We saw that last year. So,
Well,
yeah.
I don't think it should come as a surprise, honestly, because they were in the NFC Championship game last year, and then they added a huge, huge piece. Obviously, they already had decent pass rush, but now you have phenomenal pass rush, as well as really, really good coverage over this guys in adding Trent McDuffie. So I think it's both of those moves that really move the margin, and that's why I do think they should be heavy Super Bowl favorites going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, you're also getting, another year older Matt Stafford, another year older Devontae Adams, another year older Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett, yes, he's in, let's say, approaching near the end of his prime, but he's still getting older. I mean, much as I hate to say the Rams are I'm not seeing them as much of a threat, but I've seen this story before of people going all in. I don't think they could honestly get there.
Like
I
with
have
that
to
hat you're
disagree
wearing
with
right
it getting
there,
a year older.
like the
Hey, my
Packers.
team was young.
Are you talking from personal experience with the Micah Parsons
I mean, the
situation?
biggest obstacle the Rams have to overcome, and that's going with any team, is you need to stay healthy. The healthiest team usually wins. Let's be honest. Look at Denver. Look at Green Bay. Look at all these teams. They have the most unopportunistic fucking injuries, and then their season crumbles because of it. So if they stay healthy, they're a team obviously to watch. Are they going to beat the Seahawks? That's going to be a good question because the Seahawks are defending champs, and they kind of steamrolled them in the chip. So let's see.
Steamrolled
What
them.
do
And
you
Did
I
think?
do
not
have to
steamroll
go.
them.
They
I do
kind
That was a
of
have to
good
did.
go
game.
back.
That was a great game.
Yeah, and
They
they were up 2
they
scores
steam
most of the game.
they steamrolled
You're
the
up 2
Niners.
scores most of the game. That's handing them your ass.
Did it not come down to the wire?
Did not. No.
Are you sure about that?
When a team is up
Is
2
this the
scores with 2
Seahawks? Are you
minutes
talking about
left,
Seahawks Rams?
yes.
No, Seahawks Rams was a close game.
No,
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Seahawks Rams was a 2-score game at the end.
bro. They had
The Rams
they went
scored
for it on
late.
fourth down.
These games scored very late, but it was a 2-score game all the way up to the end.
The game was 31-27.
I'm saying
It
they
was
scored late.
The quarter one ended 3-10. Quarter two ended
We don't have to
13-17.
defact myself, all right, boys? Calm down.
Quarter three ended 27-31, and that's how the game ended. There was no touchdowns in the.
Either
The
way,
Rams had the ball in the red zone too, and they went for it on
It
fourth.
was a very good game. And furthermore, I do want to go back. Your point that they are a year older, I think, shouldn't stand because it's something that we all said last year, and then we saw Matthew Stafford win the MVP. We saw Myles Garrett win Defensive Player of the Year. You have these players coming off of really good years, so I don't see how one more year should have that drastic of a difference.
it's not the fact that it's going to have a drastic difference. It's just the fact that these teams need to stay healthy regardless. And with age becomes that's when that becomes a factor.
You're
As soon
giving a
as
lot of
one of these guys
hypotheticals,
gets
though.
rolled up, because what was Matthew Stafford just a year before this year? Hurt all year long. Had that nagging neck, right? I want to say the neck, and he was out. That's all it takes. It's just one injury to crumble a guy's season. You guys saw it last year. My team got literally bent over backwards by injuries and derailed our whole entire season. You need to stay healthy. And when you get older, that's not usually the case.
Well, it's always going to be the case regardless if you're old or not. Like you said, that happened to Matt Stafford 2 years ago, but then the next year he went and won MVP. So
yeah,
I think it's always going to be the case. Like Ian said, it's a hypothetical situation.
As these Super Bowl favorites, just because they have the two more guys.
On paper, they're these Super Bowl favorites.
Well, I saw my team get crowned as this crown jewel of Super Bowl favorites last year, and we weren't dick. It's
You
personal
don't see
experience.
Packers as Super Bowl
Your team
favorites
didn't have
last
on
year.
paper what the
On
Rams have
paper,
on paper.
we look great. That's what everyone says after the Green Bay got Michael Parsons. There's like, Green Bay's a Super Bowl contender. They got a good chance to go into the Super Bowl this year. Look what happened.
Who are your receivers compared to Puka and Devontae? I mean, on
Right.
paper, everything is
Yeah, you had
on
the
paper,
leading.
everything is looking different for the
You'd
Rams.
say we have a better running back.
Yeah, the NFL
Going
leading
into the
reception
season, you could
leader,
probably say Jordan
as well
Love
as the
and
touchdown
Matthew Stafford
reception
were very
leader.
similar, especially because Matthew Stafford was coming off injury. And Jordan Love, let's be honest here, he's not like he's a bad quarterback by any
Matthew
means.
Stafford has mountains more experience.
Yes, mountains more of experience, but he was coming off injury and he was getting into his elder years. You could arguably say before last season, Jordan Love and Matthew Stafford were very similar.
That's fair, but I don't think that changes the fact that it's very reasonable to assume that the Rams are the favorites going into this year.
I think the NFC is still somewhat wide open, truthfully. Like, I think there's a lot of good teams, a lot of teams that just kept their same cores and rebuilt a little bit more. Obviously, the Rams did as well. You got to worry about the Bears a little bit this year, even though they're the Bears. I mean, the Bears almost beat the Rams last year too. Don't remember that.
I do think that the Bears are going to be a good team this year.
I don't think the
But I
Seahawks
think
are
they're
just
still
going to
too
lay an
young.
egg either.
I think the Bears are still too young. I think they're good and they have a great future ahead of them, but I think that there's still time and things that need to be developed for that team. I mean, they won a lot of the games off of the hairs of their chin last year.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's switch topics a little bit, get into the other big trade that kind of shocked the NFL world today. Wouldn't say it was a shock, actually, but, we've been hearing this all offseason, knew it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But A.J. Brown got dealt to the Patriots for a first round and then a day 3 pick, I believe. Talk to me a little bit about that, Ian. Like, what do you think the impacts of that going to be on each squad?
I think it's exciting, not as a Broncos fan, it's exciting, but for the NFL landscape in general, I think it's something pretty good to see. Drake May pairing up with a pretty top tier receiver. He had Stephon last year. He had some pretty, I wouldn't say mediocre. A little above mediocre receivers, but outside of Stephon and Booty, he hasn't had a guy like AJ Brown in his arsenal. So it's going to be pretty cool to see him deal to him. And I think it's pretty cool that AJ Brown gets to reunite with Vrabel. I think sometimes the coach makes the biggest impact. It didn't seem that Sirianni and AJ Brown really were a pair, match made in heaven. But Vrabel's gotten the most out of AJ Brown, so we'll see if he's able to replicate that in New England.
Yeah, I could honestly. Not to put him down, but I could see this being just a horrible trade for the Patriots. I could see this dude just falling off a cliff and just not really producing. We'll have to see. But AJ Brown hasn't really shown me anything over the last season that really shows me he's worth a first round pick. First of all,
I have to agree with you.
I think you should have got a third round pick for him. Maybe he's taking a ton of cap. Yeah, go ahead.
I do think obviously it's big to add a big weapon for Drake May. Like you mentioned, it's going to be really big for him to have somebody that he can trust about at least towards the level that he could trust Stephon. But I have to agree in that giving up a first round pick, it just seems kind of absurd. A first round pick as well as a fifth round pick next year. And then I feel like more so on the other side of the ball, it was a really good move for the Eagles, who I think it was really clear last year that they were really struggling in the passing game. So obviously something had to change. And I think a big part of that was they were constantly trying to force feed AJ Brown. And I think AJ Brown is more of a downfield big threat. And I think that the Eagles, given that they have Saquon Barkley, given that they have a great route runner in Devontae Adams, I think that that's why they went out and drafted Mackay Lemon, was for that exact reason, is they wanted
Devontae
two different
Smith.
route runners. Sorry, who did I say?
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, sorry, I meant Devontae Smith. But yeah, now you have the two versatile route runners, and I think what they're going to end up doing is you're going to see a lot of Jalen Hurts RPOs. You're going to see a whole lot of him deciding whether he wants to keep it or hand it off to Saquon, and at the same time, you're going to see a lot of those options on the slants and on the out routes. So you're going to see a lot of fake runs to Saquon, a lot of fake runs up the middle that end up just being short throws to the outside or even slants up the middle. And I think Mackay Lemon and Devontae Smith are both specifically built for that, and they're both really good route runners, and they can still get down the field. And AJ Brown just wasn't fitting in that system. And so I think we're on that side of the football, it made a lot of sense for them to get rid of him, and then they still benefited greatly from it.
Yeah, I think we just talked about the Rams, these teams that are in win now modes. like, honestly, just F them picks they're saying. A first round pick, the Patriots, if we're thinking about it hypothetically, they're going to be pretty good next year. They're going to have a later first round pick. They're really saying on paper, I think AJ Brown's going to make a bigger impact than a later guy that we're going to draft in the first round. So in my mind, I think that makes the decision a little more balanced, in my opinion. That the first round really, it's merely like a more of a second round to them. That I mean, I would do that for AJ Brown right now. I know he didn't have the most productive year last year, but he's also going through a ton of things like personally with the Eagles and stuff. So maybe a change of scenery is just what he needs.
Yeah, and definitely, I
Yeah.
definitely see that 100%. Do I want him to have success in all endeavors? Yeah, sure. Do I care? No. But we'll have to see what happens with the Pats this year. I think they're going to regress significantly, just facing a harder schedule this year. So we'll have to see what happens there. I know my Packers play both the Patriots and the Rams, so we'll get the brute end of both of those trades, unfortunately. But back to like the best news of today, though. Guys, we got to see OBJ back to the Giants. I mean,
OBJ coming back.
I can't tell you how happy I was to see that. I mean, going back to where he essentially belongs. It's probably his last season, or at least you hope he ends it where he started. I mean, a lot of us our age now, it feels like we kind of were getting into football right when OBJ, started his career, and to see him like blossom, go through the hardships of injuries, and just everything that he's endured. It's nice to see him ending up with Harbaugh and the Giants, and hopefully he can turn in like a somewhat of a decent season with Dart, Scat, Malik Neighbors on the other side. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's still as explosive as he used to be. Obviously, he won't be quite that guy, but I think if they're going to sign him and he's going to want to play, he obviously still has something left to offer. Back when he played for the Rams, went to the Super Bowl, I didn't think that he had anything to offer then, but then you went and saw the production that he was giving them before he sustained that injury in the game. So, you know, you never know with these players. It could be some sort of awesome season where you might actually end up seeing him get maybe some sort of solid 700 to 800 yards. You never know. But more realistically, you probably see like a 300 to 400, maybe probably less yard season. But obviously, it'll still be fun to see him on the field again.
I'm just
Yeah, it'll
hoping he
be
doesn't
cool.
turn in like a Cam Newton-esque performance when he
I
went
think
back to the
that's
Panthers.
I think that's what we're exactly gonna see.
We're gonna see
Yeah,
that first touchdown. I'm back.
I'm
Hit
back.
the whip,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna tear his ACL again. But hopefully
I didn't say
not.
all that, but
I'm hoping for the best for Odell. I mean, I basically started like my Madden like Ultimate Team like journey when he was on the cover of Madden 16. Dude, I'm excited to see him lined up for the Giants again. And side note with the Giants, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw with Malik Neighbors, but that dude is not looking very
He's
healthy.
not look good. No.
why?
Yeah, he's
What makes you say
waddling on
that?
that
At
knee.
that
Well, there was a video of him running around
softball?
and he looks really skittish. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's just a softball game, so you don't want him to be running hard, but he still looks uncomfortable even running that softly. So it's
Why are we even putting
gonna take
ourselves in a
some time for him
situation
to
like that?
recover. Yeah, if he's already uncomfortable doing so, he shouldn't
Like,
even be
come
doing it.
on, man. It's
I
just
mean,
like
he had
some of
that
these
second
athletes are
surgery too. He
these
had
athletes
the
are tone deaf, bro. Like you just
you
go and
want to
tear your
say so he had
ACL,
that
you're gonna
first
go.
what?
Like, they're just these athletes, dude. They're just some of them are just stupid, tone deaf. You tore your ACL a year before, you're gonna go fucking play in a charity softball game
I mean,
the
not
year
to
like the
mention
off season after.
yeah, I mean, not to mention he had a second surgery in the middle of the off season to clean up his knee because it wasn't healing properly. So, I mean, I don't see him for one being ready for training camp, let alone being able for the start of the season. He might be out for the full year. I'm not looking forward to that, considering I have him in Dynasty at all. Just another fucking injury to my roster. Just feels like a constant thread, but I'm hoping for the best for him as well. So, but yeah, anything you guys saw with the NFL that you guys want to add?
Nah, that's about all the big news I've seen.
No. Alrighty. Well, let's jump into some Rockies news. We saw them take 2 of 3 from the Giants over the weekend. Recorded their first come from behind win when trailing after 8 innings. Obviously, great when we see that. Did you see any takeaways from those games, guys?
I mean, obviously, in all those games, the pitching was still lacking. obviously game 3 against the Giants was one of the worst outings we've seen in a long time. 25 hits given up, 19 runs. But other than that, it is good to see some consistent hitting. Some of these guys are hitting a lot better. Tovar is looking great these days. We saw Tyler or Jake McCarthy have a fantastic game in game 2. So a lot of these guys are definitely they got some hot bats going on, and it's getting us some wins. So it's good to see as a Rockies fan. Like you said,
Yeah.
like we've mentioned in the past last year, you'd barely get to see a win going to any game. So actually getting to see quite a few this year has been a treat.
Yeah, I was there for both wins on Friday and Saturday night. Friday's game, as soon as they gave up 2 runs in the ninth after Tovar hit his first home run in the game and we were down 3, I was like, yep, well, we're going to lose. Might as well just get out of here, you know? Glad we didn't, obviously, because Goodman hit that 3-run homer to tie it up. Don't know how that stayed fair. Got to pray to the baseball gods there, but then Tovar, hit another one to walk it off. And that was truly one of the best Rockies games I've ever been to, at least in the last 5 years. That's for damn sure. So I'm really excited to see Tovar kind of just breaking out of his slump. He's been a lot better of late, and that's all I could ask for from Tovar. So he's already great from the defensive spot that he's in. So now we just got to get a little bit healthier with the other guys, Moniak and Doyle, and maybe Dollander comes back this season. Not looking too promising with that, but we'll have to wait and see. But you got anything to add, Ian?
Honestly, not from this weekend, just in general, some Rockies news. Did I read it right? Is Jackson Holiday out for the year? Or am I tripping?
No, that is wrong Holiday. Ethan Holiday has a stress fracture in his foot, and he's out for the rest of the
Okay.
year. So the Rockies' top prospect won't see
That's
any
what.
more
My bad. My
progression,
bad.
unfortunately, over the rest of the 2026 season, which is unfortunate. He might have gotten up to high A, but it's not like we were going to see him in the majors anytime soon.
Yeah.
So just unfortunate. Something you got to deal with in baseball. People get hurt. It's unfortunate when it happens to every Rockies prospect, it seems like. But kind of exciting news just coming from like Colorado and where we're from. Jonah Cox made his debut for the San Francisco Giants. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's like the same age as us. For one, he played in my baseball, I guess you could say, league club. Perfect. Yeah, he made his debut. I got a single off a position player, but I always heard stories about this dude. This dude was just nasty when he played in Thunder for us. So kind of cool to see, someone that you like kind of know make it in the show. I think that's the first one I've ever seen that I knew.
Well, not to mention that his first hit was in Colorado.
Yeah,
That
right.
that
Like
shit was cool.
he had like 60 plus, friends and family in attendance for that. But
He
that was
didn't
cool to
send a
see.
ticket your way now?
And he does not know my name. I know of him. He doesn't know of me. There's two sides of the street there.
You were asking for his autograph. He wasn't asking for
Dude, I
yours.
would, bro. I would.
Nah, that'd be pretty
I
cool,
think
bro,
he's
honestly.
honestly, dude, he's a stud. He was hitting 400 in Double A, and he cut straight through Triple A to make the majors. So I think this
Wow.
dude could be really, really good. And his
Remember he
dad
went on
was
that crazy hit streak with Oral Roberts a couple years ago?
in the College Baseball World Series. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
nasty. Like he's got like the craziest blonde beard too. But then we also have TJ Shook making his debut tonight. Brought him up from AAA. And I know we talked about it last week, Pat, but we said Wellington Herrera was making his debut. He got a 1-2-3 against the Dodgers. He just got put on the 60-day IL. So, of course.
Injuries, man.
Injuries are
Yeah.
killing the Rockies right now. This guy's a Rule 5 draft pick, so he had to stand on our 40-man in our Major League roster. So, kind of excited to see what he can do. He's been doing pretty well in AAA. Sub-3 ERA and down in the PCL, the AAA league, very, very hard to pitch there, and he's leading the league in saves. And that AAA team is doing amazing down there. So I'm excited to see some of these guys finally starting to come up. I want to see some more position guys soon. Like a Zach Veen. I think he could do some numbers in cores with his new physique. I don't know if you guys caught it in spring training, but he looks insane. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you always see some of these guys get some of those big growth spurts and then they end up having really good years. I think one of those examples from way back when I used to really religiously watch the Rockies was I remember Dexter Fowler was so skinny. And then he just had one summer where he was just hitting the gym every day with, I forget who. I think it was either Cardo or Tulo or both. but he got significantly bigger and his hitting just got way better and he was powering them out of the park. So I'm hoping to see some sort of transformation like that from Bean for sure.
I mean, Veen attributes all his transformation from getting sober. So I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I mean, yeah, maybe grow another foot too. Yeah. But that kind of just like wraps up our Rockies talk at least. I mean, gotta wait and see with the team. It's a long season, and we're going through it's a grind of a season right now. But we should see, at least one guy go to the All Star break here in about a month and a half. So I'm excited for that. But let's kick it into some NBA news. Saw the Knicks are going to be facing off the Spurs on Wednesday. We record this on Monday, the 1st of June, guys. But let me get a little preview out of you, Native. Talk to me about the series. Big women? Yeah, they do. They do eat, bro. They do eat. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, we got the keyboard warrior over here.
Sorry, I was looking something up.
PV's wild with them, bro. You just can't. Just don't. I'm excited for this, finals. I think we get another chance at like a new winner over the last like 8 years. The NBA's parity is unmatched, obviously, over the last like 10 years, ever since like kind of like the LeBron and Curry era was gone. It's been amazing. And I'm honestly hoping, we get a great series, at least 6 games. I think it can go over 6. It's just gonna be how dominant Wemby is gonna be over, the Knicks. I mean, the real question is, can you stop Brunson and can you stop Wemby for each side? Because Brunson's been amazing, and they have all the time off as well. They're fully rested. They're coming off a 7-game series. You don't know how they're going to look. They might look sluggish at home. You never know. But I'm excited to see what we get out of the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping for the best. I personally do kind of have a lingering feeling that it might be kind of like a one-win type of series for the Knicks. I kind of feel like the Spurs do have the upper hand here. I think the Knicks have a huge upper hand in terms of experience, but I think there's a lot of facets on the court that they're not going to be able to keep up with the Spurs, obviously size being one of them. And one of the big factors, Mitchell Robinson being hurt. Obviously, he may be able to play game one. Not sure yet still about that. But regardless, he's not going to be at 100%. And as much as the Knicks can score, I think that the Spurs just have a unfathomable defense. One area that I think they're really comparable in that I think may actually make the series really interesting is both teams definitely put a lot of effort out there. You saw a lot of effort out of the Spurs in Game 7. They were getting a lot of offensive rebounds. We saw a lot of effort out from the Spurs in Game 7. We saw them actually getting a lot of offensive rebounds, not a lot of box out from the Thunder. The Spurs obviously wanted it more. And I think that wanting it more is a big factor. I mean, you saw Wemby's reaction after winning Game 7 there. And so I think that with how much he wants it, I think that it's going to have a big effect. And I think with the Knicks, I am hoping for the best, and I am hoping for a really good series. But like it's been mentioned time and time again, the East is just a lot less of a threat than the West. And so I think that obviously they have been coasting through the East, and I feel like they're going to hit kind of a brick wall going against the Spurs in this series. So I'm hoping that it'll be competitive, but I do personally see quite an upper hand for San Antonio in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we got you back in. Got any thoughts on like a little prediction on what we might see out of game one?
Are we talking about just in general? Talking about
Yeah, I
specific
mean, do you think Knicks take game one, steal game one in San Antonio, or do you think the Spurs kind of kick them in the mouth
No.
and show them
I
what's
think
up?
I think San Antonio takes game one in their home at their court. I think that arena is one of those arenas that gets rocking. I think they're excited. It's been a while since they've been to a finals game of this magnitude.
Yeah,
It's a different era of Spurs basketball. I think San Antonio is ready for it. So I think Spurs come out and win pretty handily, honestly.
yeah, I like that. I like that.
I have honestly kind of a controversial take for game one, even though I think that the Knicks end up not putting much of a fight throughout the series. I do think that game one they are going to come out. They are going to come out firing. I do think that one of the bigger surprises I think is how big of a fan base New York has. We know they're going to travel, and I think they're going to fill up that Spurs arena a lot more than San Antonio is thinking. I don't think it'll be completely full, obviously. I think it'll still be dominated by Spurs fans, but I do think it'll be a surprising amount of Knicks fans that you see in there. And I think with the offense and the quick firing that the Knicks have, I do think that they will catch them off guard game one possibly. But then I think San Antonio just gets back, they collect themselves, figure out a game plan, and then that's when I think you see a lot of domination coming out of San Antonio after that.
Yeah. Do you think Chalamet will be at game one?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Chalamet will be at every game.
You think? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's trending at, so they're forecasting that he's going to be at 10.1 total games of playoffs for Knicks right now, which is on Kalshi, and I find that hilarious. But I'm excited. We get another playoff series that's not going to just bore us to death. I mean, I honestly thought the Pacers and Thunder were going to bore me to death last year, and they turned out to be a great series, obviously ending in kind of a horrible fashion with Hallie getting hurt. But you never know what you might get out of these two teams. Obviously we won a game 7. Is it going to happen? We don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping for the best for them. But here is our, I'll let you take it away, Ian. But we got our bet of the week, presented by Detail Kings.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me
tell us a little bit about Detail Kings as well. He pulls that up,
really
Ian.
quick. Yeah.
We're a detailing company, auto detailing company based out of the North Metro Denver area. We serve multiple cities, multiple spots. We're in a lot of zip codes. We have our Google business up. So if you guys want to go look up The Detail Kings, we are the first Google business profile that pops up. Currently, we're sitting at 10 5-star reviews, looking for more here in the near future from past customers and future customers. Yeah, so it's a 2-man mobile detailing company, and we're just getting our thing going. It's gonna be a good summer.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks like it. You guys are constantly posting your quality work, and hopefully you guys do a little bit better with this partnership. Is there any sort of discount viewers will get if they mention the Altitude Problems podcast, or no?
Hey man, just give the Altitude Problem guys a little shout out. We'll take $20 off the top. How's that sound?
$20. I'll do a lot for $20. But
that's a lot of money out of my pocket.
Talk to me about your pick for the bet of the weekend.
Oh man, so we're looking at Victor Wembanyama, the alien, going berserk in game 1 with the boards. I know Mitch Robinson's out. He broke his finger. So just looking at that Knicks lineup, man, they don't have a lot of size to kind of match up down there with Wemby on the getting the boards off the glass. I know Cat is a pretty decent rebounder, but I just think Wemby out physicals him. It's obviously gonna be a good, tough matchup down there for him, but I think he's up to it. He's gonna come out and just be explosive game 1 and kind of do his thing.
Yeah, definitely. I got Dylan Harper over 3.5 rebounds. He's cleared this line 4 of the last 5 games he's played. You got a lot of rebounding guards on the Knicks, obviously, but you're gonna have to go out rebound them, and they're both some physical teams. I feel like this line should clear by at least 1. Yeah, on to you, Pat.
Yeah, I took Stephon Castle in this one. I think that Castle's going to have a lot of opportunities. I think Josh Hart being the other guard, I think he's honestly going to end up taking a lot of the defense over for going against Wemby, because I think in what they lack in size, Josh Hart has in hustle. And so I think they're going to pull one of those, put the smaller guy on Wemby type of players. So he's kind of just always all over the ball and not letting him actually get away with any passes or making getting any type of shots off. And so I think because of that, obviously now Stephon Castle isn't going to have much attention on him. And so I do see him scoring a lot out against the Knicks and in the series overall. So I'll take him in game 1.
Yeah, I like that. And you can combine this, put it in a parlay. It comes out to about plus 415, or you could just use them as straight bets and see how ass we actually are. But aside from that, let's get into our Denver sports fun fact of the week. And for you guys, who was the first Broncos quarterback, and this goes for all listeners as well, to finish the season with a passer rating above 100?
Yeah, so I think this one's pretty easy. Ian, you know this one?
Fuck, I really don't, bud. I mean, it seems too easy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it does seem too easy, and it is as easy as it thinks. It was as you think it is. It was Peyton Manning's historic season, 2013, when he broke all those records with a 115 point something passer rating. So Yeah, I knew it had to be an insane season for it to be over 100 passer rating. Figured Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I was gonna throw
Yeah.
out Jake Plummer, so I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, I honestly thought it might be something dumb like that. I wouldn't have blamed you for making that type of guess. So
Yeah, and not to rain on your parade a little bit, but I will. You were actually wrong. It was Brian Greasy in 2000.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I was literally gonna
Brian
say Brian Greasy.
Greasy. So it was
I know I
something like
sound like
that.
that guy right
Let's
now.
see.
I know I sound like that guy, but I swear, in the back of my mind,
Yeah.
the fuck kind of year did Brian Greasy have?
Really?
And I'll let you know this now.
Yeah, I
It
actually
was
did not know
minimum
that. Is that
200
true?
attempts.
Yeah, it was
So
102.9 during the 2000 NFL season. He only threw 336 passes.
Is that when he fucking
But he
So
had
fucking
it's, I
19
mean,
he
his
had 19
ACL?
touchdowns.
you got a
19
little bit of
touchdowns,
a,
4 picks.
obviously Manning is, I want to say his pass attempts is well above that through a full season. So he's probably the right answer, if you know what I mean. But if we're going by minimum 200 attempts is so. Yeah, but guarantee you no one knew that. And that's a great way to end week 6 of the Up to Promise podcast. And you guys got any concluding remarks for the fellas or
Just
women?
shout out the Detail Kings. Follow us on Instagram at the Detail Kings 303.
We'll plug all your info down below when we post. I hope you can collab with us, right?
Yeah. Was that an invitation to me?
It's to the fucking cloud. But anyways,
Well, there goes our collaboration.
Yeah, I lost that partnership. But
You really
Pat, you got
needed
anything
us.
to say?
Thanks for stopping by, Native. It was good seeing you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome you anytime, man.
All right, fellas. Well, appreciate you having me. It's been a good time. A little short today,
Yeah.
no?
No, yeah. A little
Not
bit of a short
terribly.
episode, but that's all right.
It's honestly longer than the last 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, the last couple weeks have
Has
been a
it?
little shorter, so yeah.
I've been tuning in, bro. I swear. It's just
Yeah.
things.
Alrighty. Well,
All right,
that is
fellas.
week 6, and I hope you guys have a great week. This is the Altitude Promise podcast.